Once upon a time in a city in Nigeria, Amaka, a 26-year-old university graduate, had just returned to her family home in the remote village of U after completing her National Youth Service Corps or NYSC program. She had dreams of moving to Lagos to pursue a career in advertising, but her mother, Mama Amaka, had fallen ill. Amaka decided to stay back to care for her. The village was small, quiet, and cloaked in superstition. Stories of strange occurrences, disappearances, and encounters with the supernatural were common. But Amaka, being a modern woman, dismissed these tales as mere folklore. That was until the night she stumbled upon the shrine. It was 11:45 p.m. Amaka had stayed up late tending to her mother, who had finally fallen asleep. Needing some air, she decided to take a short walk to clear her mind. Armed with a flashlight, she strolled along the dirt path behind their compound. The night was eerily silent, no crickets, no distant chatter from neighboring houses, only the rustling of leaves. As she approached a fork in the path, Amaka noticed a faint glow emanating from the dense forest to her left. It was strange, she had never seen anyone venture into that part of the woods at night. Curiosity got the better of her. Against her better judgment, she decided to investigate. The glow grew brighter as she moved closer, and soon she heard whispers, low, guttural voices speaking in a language she couldn't understand. Her heart pounded as she switched off her flashlight and crouched behind a tree. Peeking out, she saw a sight that made her blood run cold. In a small clearing stood a shrine made of weathered stones, adorned with cowries, red cloth, and dried palm fronds. Around it were 5 hooded figures, their faces obscured, chanting in unison. At the center of the shrine was a wooden idol, its eyes glowing an unnatural red. In front of the idol lay a man, bound and gagged, his muffled cries barely audible. Amaka's breath caught in her throat. She wanted to run, but her legs felt like lead. One of the figures raised a calabash filled with a dark, viscous liquid and poured it over the man's head. The chanting grew louder, more frenzied, and the idol's eyes glowed brighter. Suddenly, the man's body convulsed violently before going still. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood. Amaka's flashlight slipped from her trembling hands and hit the ground with a dull thud. The sound echoed through the clearing. The chanting stopped abruptly, and all 5 figures turned toward her hiding spot. "Who's there?" one of them barked, his voice deep and menacing. Amaka didn't wait to find out what they would do if they caught her. She sprang to her feet and bolted back toward the village. The figures gave chase, their footsteps pounding against the forest floor. She could hear them shouting, their voices growing closer with each passing second. The path seemed endless, the trees closing in around her. Just as she thought she was about to be caught, she tripped over a root and fell hard, scraping her palms and knees. Desperately, she crawled into a thicket, holding her breath as the figures ran past her hiding spot. When she finally made it back to her compound, she was drenched in sweat and trembling. She locked the door behind her and peered out the window, but the forest was still and silent once more. Her mother, oblivious to what had happened, was still asleep. The next morning, Amaka recounted her experience to the village elders. Their faces darkened as she spoke. One of them, Baba Oseji, leaned forward and said, "You have seen what was not meant to be seen. That shrine belongs to the Ekunji, the forest spirits. Those who disturb their rituals do not live to tell the tale." Amaka felt a chill run down her spine. "But I didn't mean to." "It does not matter," Baba Oseji interrupted. "You must leave this village at once. The spirits will come for you." Amaka dismissed the elders' warning as superstition, but strange things began happening that night. She heard whispers outside her window, though no one was there. Her mother's condition worsened inexplicably, and shadows moved in her peripheral vision. By the third night, Amaka was at her wit's end. She decided to leave for Lagos the next morning. But as she packed her bags, the whispers grew louder, turning into guttural chants. Her room grew cold, and the lights flickered. Suddenly, the idol from the shrine appeared on her dresser, its glowing red eyes boring into hers. She screamed and fled into the night, only to find the hooded figures waiting for her outside. They surrounded her, their chants growing deafening. The last thing she saw was the idol, now larger than life, its mouth opening to reveal rows of jagged teeth. The villagers found Amaka fainted in the forest the next morning, her face frozen in terror. Baba Oseji declared it a warning from the spirits, and the elders performed a cleansing ritual to appease them. To this day, no one ventures near the forest at night. An Amaka story is told as a cautionary tale. In you, some secrets are better left undiscovered.